Hi, and welcome back. Welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about two markets that I did these past couple weeks. It's been a long few weeks, but actually I only did one of them, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kyle. I'm a small artist here on YouTube, and I make videos about setting my art shop, starting my small art business, my art in general. And so if you're interested in that and you're not following, feel free to follow or subscribe. And yeah, but like I said, today we're going to be talking about a couple markets that I did or was supposed to do and how they went. And not to be like super negative, and I don't think it's gonna be negative, but it's honestly kind of comical, but they did not go well. And I'm only saying that because my last video also was me saying my shop update didn't go well. And after that last video, thank you so much if you placed an order. I promise I wasn't like trying, like pushing for orders. I was just trying to share my experience. I really was. But I really appreciate any orders. And so yeah, I was supposed to do two markets these past couple weekends, one each weekend. And I did one of them, and I'll put some footage into that market. And the other one got canceled. And they were both like the same market, but in different places. So it was this like, kind of like a pride themed market since it's June, and one of them was like in an indoor venue, and the other one was like in a completely different town over in an outdoor venue, but during like that town's like Pride Fest, but it was a smaller town. That's when like got canceled, the outdoor one, because it was supposed to like rain and like it was in a flood zone and like a wind tunnel, so I don't know. But I'm glad it got canceled because the first one went very badly. I'll talk a little bit more about that after I put in some footage. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do in this video is I just want to share my experience with you and kind of like some thoughts again about like, now that I've done a few markets, I think I really do, I don't know, I feel like I have a better sense of like what I need to do in the future and how to choose markets. And so I really want to share that with you guys and also kind of just tell you how my markets went in general. But yeah, so here's some footage, and then after we'll come back and we'll recap. It's the night before the event, and my printer just like randomly started printing like all my prints with roller marks on them for 5x7 paper. So now I have to print them on 8x10 paper and then cut them. And I'm using the cello to cut them. It's like so stupid. But anyway, I'm like reprinting like a lot of my prints, and yeah, so I'm gonna go to bed though because I am really tired and it's almost midnight, and I have to leave at like 10:30ish or 10:15 or so to get to the event on time. So I should be able to get enough sleep, like, because I have to wake up my son early. But other than that, I should be able to get enough sleep. And then, yeah, I hope that it goes well. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of new prints and stickers and a couple bookmarks. I also got a cart, or like a wagon, so I'm excited to use that. Stickers are such a mess. Okay, so this is the booth. This is all the stickers and cards and yeah, all the rest of the stuff. I think it looks pretty good in general. The event looks really cool. A lot of really cool stuff. A lot of cool booths. I really like this person's. I want to do that with like the little, how they both have like the cubicle things. But yeah. We're at the event, and it is really, really, really hot in this room, so that's not good. So it's gonna get even hotter when people are here. There's like no one here yet, so yeah, but hopefully it goes well. I'm finished setting up, and I think the event's gonna start in a few minutes, so I finished just in time, so that's good, and yeah, so we'll see how it goes. It has been like an hour, and I have had one sale, so it's not going great, but we'll see what how the rest of the event goes. Maybe like it'll pick up a little bit in the afternoon. It's really hot out today though, and it's really hot in here. So I don't know. And I feel like also it's just like maybe people don't know about it as much. I know there's also like another like Comic-Con type event going on. All right, I will check in again later. Hopefully things pick up. All right, bye.
Last score 6119. It's halfway through the event and I've made 2 sales, which is not great, but it is what it is. I mean, it's really slow, I think, in general. Like, there's literally no one in our aisle right now at all, there's just like people coming in and out. Again, I think it's because it's like on a like Sunday and it's really hot out. And I just don't know how well advertised this is. I thought this was like a pretty good market in general, I think I heard, but I don't know, maybe it's just a slow one. I think people have been coming around and like kind of again like engaging with me and like looking at my booth and stuff, which has been cool. And like saying, oh, this is cute and things like that. So it's 2.5 hours left to the event. So I don't know, maybe it'll pick up since it's like after lunchtime now, but I don't foresee that happening. There's food trucks outside too, so I think that like people were driven here kind of like to get food trucks during lunchtime, and that was like when it was more popular or like more free, like there were more people here a lot earlier. It's like dying down a lot, and it's only halfway over.
Okay, so I don't know actually how much footage I had, so I don't know. I don't think there's that much, and I think it's all like the same thing of me saying probably like it didn't go well, because it was like a couple weekends ago now at this point. So like a little bit over a week ago. But yeah, I think like it just didn't go well. The one thing about the market that I went to, so the one was inside, it was insanely hot inside. I think I heard afterwards that like something happened with the air conditioning. And so they like had the doors open and kind of there was like a little bit of a breeze, but like not really. And in North Carolina in the summer, it just gets really hot and humid. So being indoors with that hot and humid weather is just not fun. But it was a really slow market. Being there was like fun. I had my husband working it with me, and that was really fun. It was really cool to like hang out together for a few hours. My parents were in town watching my son, so that was really cool. But it just like it was really slow. Like I think I took footage of like some of the different time periods, and like there's some times where just like wasn't anyone walking around. I literally got 3 sales and I made $11, and I actually lost money because I was in this like raffle for it, and so I gave away like $10 worth of stuff like twice, like there was 2 raffles, and so I actually lost $9. So yeah, and also I mean like that's on top of the table fee, which I clearly did not make back. And I'll talk more about finances in a little bit, but just general impressions, it was a really slow market, and it was like a cool event. But it was more like, it was through this company called Geek and Grub, so it's more of like an anime-esque video game, like I guess like clientele. So similar to the market or the con that I did back in January. And I'll put a link here if you haven't seen that vlog, which I also didn't do very great at. So yeah, I think that's like part of why I didn't do specifically so well, but also like it's hard to tell because I think it was just a super slow market. There were a lot of people that came up to my booth and said like, this is really nice, I love this. But it was like fun to like see people come up and like, again, like say like, I like your stuff. And I just always love those interactions and talking to people and just like talking about my art, talking about their interests. And that's really fun. And I had a lot of that. It's just a lot of it didn't turn to sales. And I think a lot of it was just because people were browsing. And I maybe even just like walking off the street, like, what is this? And not like coming for specifically like the purpose of the show. And it was a very specific show as well. So I think like some of the reasons I personally didn't do well, besides the fact that it was just really slow, I think that my art just does not go well with like this crowd, because I had a similar feeling at the anime convention. I think my art is more like catered towards, I don't know, just like the like families and like not like, it's just not like anime style or like chibi style. And there were a lot of people like across the way from me that had that style, and they were doing a lot more of like that type of art, and I think they did better than me. And again, like it still seemed like it was slow for them too, because it was just slow in general. But I think that that's like partly my problem, is that like this isn't the type of clientele for me right now. And maybe in the future it will be, but I don't think right now it is. So I think that's like one big thing that I have to consider moving forward with conventions. And then the second one is, I think I just like don't have like my setup and my, like both my setup and my products, like I just don't have enough products, I don't think, in general. And my setup like isn't that like impressive. I thought it was really good at the con. At these last 2 markets, so I wanted to make it like smaller, and so I didn't like set it up as much. I didn't use the cubes. And people at this convention did, or this market did. And I think that's because it was more of like a anime convention culture, so like they were going with that flow. Whereas like the last market I did was a Mother's Day market, and I'll put that vlog somewhere. And I did a lot better at that market in general, and I think it was because it was more tailored towards like just like a general clientele, which I think my work caters towards better. So I think that was like a big part of the problem, and I think I really need to think about like where I'm selling in the future. Yeah, I think it's like really important to think about that. Like if you are selling in person, I think you really need to like choose your cons wisely or your markets, because like you will end up losing money if like you don't have, if you're not matching your clientele, you'll probably end up losing money from my experience. And again, I've only done like 3 or 4 markets and cons, so like take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I think it's just something to think about, and I've already noticed it like within these 2 that I've done. And also what I've been talking about a little bit in my last video as well is just creating a more like branded, I think, environment and theme for my shop and my products. I think that I really need to create some sort of like identity, because right now it just feels really scattered. And I think it doesn't lend well to like promoting myself and my brand. And I think I'm really starting to see that, and it really is starting to like affect, I think, just in general, like how I'm marketing myself and how I'm marketing my brand and everything like that. So I think there's just really something I need to like figure out there. And so I think I want to take some time to like really figure that out. Sorry, bug just went in my face. I think that's a really huge thing that I've kind of noticed and really been feeling for the past like month or so, and going to these markets, is that I think I just have a lot of different art, and I think the only thing that's connecting it is my art style, but even that kind of has changed a little bit even in the past like year. So I think there's a lot to think about there in general. And so I think those are like the big 3 things. And I think, again, like this is similar to what I said last time after my shop update, but I would really recommend like focusing on, I think it's really important to think about you and your identity as an artist, and don't let it get bogged down too much, obviously, and you don't need to like get super like into a specific niche. But I do think it's really important to have some sort of like cohesive theme and cohesiveness in general among your products, and I just feel like I don't have that at all. And so I think I'm going to start trying to focus on that. And then again, like I think it is really important to like figure out where you fit with like the markets and just like your clients in general, like who your clients are. And I think this is something that like even like when you're making YouTube videos, if you're interested in that, think about who your client is. Think about like who you're making videos for, who you're making products for, and then like I think instead of just applying to like the cons like you want to apply to, like I watch a lot of people that do anime conventions, and so I wanted to apply to those, or like these anime like markets, but like I don't think that's really fitting for me and my style and my art. So I think there was a disconnect there for me, and now I'm kind of realizing that. So yeah, I think those are some of the things that I learned. But yeah, so in general, like I had a really good time with this market, and I feel like I did learn a lot from it, but lucratively it was, well, not lucrative. It was really horrible. And the second market, like I said, was canceled, but they said they'd refund our money, but they said they put it towards another event, which I don't want to do another event right now. So I'm hoping I can just get my money back because I didn't do the market. It wasn't there. And I'm actually really glad that it didn't happen, because I was just so stressed, like especially after doing so poorly at the first market. Like I said, I only made 3 sales. I do think that like I struggled to like, I don't know, convert sales maybe, and I think that's just like something I need to work on. But I'm really glad the second market was canceled. Yeah, so anyway, I think I've learned a lot through this process, and I am having fun like trying to build this business. I just think it's a huge learning curve, obviously, especially for someone who's never done anything like this. I don't have any marketing experience, I don't have any like business branding experience, anything like that. So it's a lot of like things that I'm learning, and hopefully like sharing this along the way is like helping you if you're starting, you know, to do this. Maybe you'll learn from some of my mistakes, I hope. But yeah, so I don't know, it was a really weird experience. I had a lot of fun, but I am kind of like gonna just take a step back and like try to figure out my business a little more, I think, before I like do any more like market type stuff in the future. Yeah, so anyway, hopefully this video was somewhat helpful if you're thinking about doing something like this. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I like really appreciate everyone that watches these videos. It's so amazing that people, you know, watch these videos. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And sorry if I have not verified the comments. I'm going to do it tonight because I finally have some time now that I'm done with all these markets and family visiting and everything. So hopefully I will get to those. So if you do have a comment for this video, please feel free to leave it below. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing if you want more content like this. I'd really appreciate it. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day or night. Bye!